All right, so there's a thing I want to talk about and address. Not something about me. No, no, no. I want to address the Epic 7 community and what most of them do to help newer players or to help anybody who's asking for advice. And the act of helping them is always appreciated. Thank you for trying to help newer players or people asking for advice. It's always like top notch stuff to do, okay? But the one thing that annoys me and probably annoys a lot of people, I don't know. I know it annoys me, but so I'm gonna talk about me. When someone's asking for advice, try to be generic, but and what I mean by that is so let's say people are asking for a Wyvern 13 team, right? They currently have a Momoranti, not specialty changed. So let's just say regular Momoranti, and I'm probably saying it wrong, but I don't really care right now. So they're running regular Momo. They're running Tanner Guard. They're running Alexa, and they're probably running like Alina because Alina is their farmer, and she's a great farmer, by the way. So, but let's say they're running that. All right. They're like, oh, I can't be Wyvern 13. Any advice? Please, I would appreciate it. So the general um response would be, oh yeah, use these top notch units, right? Top notch units. So Sigrid, SSB, I don't even know what other else you can use. Chloe, water Chloe. um those are top notch units. They may not be fast, but for the most part people just want to clear the Wyvern 13. They don't want to do it in one shot. If they can, that's great, but for the most part they just want help. And that's the scenario we're going at right now. They just want help trying to beat Wyvern 13. So clearly, as somebody who is gonna um give them a little bit of advice, I see that they're running mostly 3-star units. That's the first thing I see. So I'm like, okay, I gotta be a little generic because clearly they don't have a cigarette, or maybe they don't know like that a cigarette is good here. Maybe they don't have it built. I don't know. Okay, so I have no clue, but I just see 3 stars. So I'm gonna start naming units that are obtainable in the game and that could potentially help you and or offer gear advice, because that's mostly what it comes down to for the most part. Um, if I see a 3-star team being run through Wyvern and they're asking for help, I'm gonna be like, okay, so if you're running regular Momo, why don't you try to specialty changer and get Angelic Momoranzi, and that would up your resistance for your tank and potentially give her more survivability. So you should probably work on that. I see you running Tanner Guard as well, and even though Tanner Guard may be good, you probably need decent gear to even run him in Wyvern 13 because he has to be decent fast and he has to have some form of survivability to not to but like survivability and effectiveness, which is a lot to get for a 3-star unit. But if you do have the gear, that's great. Just probably re-gear him and go more speed, HP, and effectiveness, and you'll probably be good. But if you could go for Furious, which is a great unit by the way, you should go for Furious. The only thing that you need is investment, and that will take you not a long time, probably like a day or two if you really want them. Um, go for Furious, do some upgrades. It'll cost you a Mola. But if you don't have Mola, then yes, that will be a problem. But for the most part, you should have some Mola if you're running a 3-star team, right? And so you'll probably end up wasting some Mola on him, but trust me, it's worth it. So just upgrade skill 2, I believe, and skill 3, and maybe skill 1 if you really want the extra chance to land that burn. So but for the most part, you probably just need skill 2 and skill 3. So you should probably switch Tanner Guard for Furious, right? This is starting to sound like generic advice where you can obtain these units in the game. Clearly, you just gotta work from, but they're obtainable. You don't have to summon from. RNG isn't going to be involved all the way, and I say not all the way because you may want to pull for a Sigrid. And here's when I'm gonna be a little bit more, I guess, I don't know, demanding. So okay, so I see you have Alexa and Lina. You'll probably want to remove Lina and possibly run another water unit who can debuff if you do have it. If you don't, then this is going to be a little harder for you. But if you have, let's say, like a Clarissa or a Chloe or a Sigrid, and they're probably gonna be like, oh no, I don't have any of those 5 stars. I'll be like, okay, cool. But you do have Clarissa, and they'll probably say yes or no. And depending on your answer, their answer, you'll adjust accordingly, right? So let's say they say no to Clarissa, all right? So they're like, okay, so I see that you're gonna be struggling a lot, and the chances of you clearing it are very low. So I suggest you go back to Wyvern 12 if you can clear that consistently. If not, go back to Wyvern 11. And this is where you are offering generic advice, and by generic doesn't necessarily mean bad. It just means you're offering advice that is obtainable in the game and not like far out, like, oh, I gotta summon like 3 different units and stuff like that. No, 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 that's too many resources. You don't want to be doing that to your fellow new players or whatever, right? So at this point I'm like, okay, so since you don't have any of these units, you should probably go back and go do like Wyvern 11, because this is where I was be like offering some advice, because I at least try to compare myself to him and be like, because this is where I was stuck as well. I didn't have the units for Hunt 13 or Wyvern 13. You'll probably want to do Hunt 11 until you get better gear. I know it sucks because the chances of you getting level 85 gear is low, but at the end of the day, you'll end up getting claws, and eventually you'll be able to do crafting, which will get you level 85 gear. So it's a little slower, but you know you'll be able to do it like this. And I did use Lina in my Wyvern 13, so I understand this much. Okay, so now that you have, now that you basically took out Lina and any potential 5-star units that they don't have out of the way, you talk about Alexa. Alexa is a great unit for Wyvern 13, by the way, so don't sleep on her. If you don't use her and you don't have another water unit, go for Alexa. She's really good. Be like, all right, so Alexa's a great choice. All you need is decent gear. You don't really need decent gear, but let's just say, okay, you just need to upgrade her gear, like start improving it to start playing Wyvern 13. If you have decent gear, you'll probably end up playing Wyvern 11 faster, which will then net you more claws, will net you more gear that you can craft. So let's just say that, okay? Now at this point, you gave them sound advice, obtainable advice, and you didn't just go and talk about, oh, you need SSB, or you need Sigrid, or you need Chloe, or you need Fallen Cecilia, or you need Riley to beat this, or you need this and this and this and this and this. You don't give advice like that. That's so stupid. I believe that it's so stupid for people to do. Stop doing that. If you're one of the people that do that, you know, you should probably do that. You can do it. I don't really care what you do, but you know, like help them out. Don't be thinking that everybody's at your level. Not everybody's currently at your level. This is the mindset of high level people. They don't see the problems that we lower level people deal with. So let's say like the top legend players, they're currently at their own level are dealing with a unit which is hard for them. So let's say, I don't know, Fallen Cecilia. This is an example. Say Fallen Cecilia is a toxic unit. Okay, wait, I got a better example. RB. RB for the low game players is super hard to defeat, especially if you're barely starting out in bronze, silver, gold, possibly, and masters. RB probably isn't a real threat in the higher ranks. Obviously he still is if you build him the way he's currently being built, which is counter. But for the most part, if you build him the same way you built him in, you know, lower ranks, he's not a threat at all. Like, not at all. People already at this rank have units that counter RB like consistently. So you don't want to offer the same advice you currently have or you're currently dealing with to somebody that's of a lower rank or lower resource player. So next time somebody asks for help, be more connected. I guess that's the word, because not everybody has the same news as we do. Not everybody has a Fallen Cecilia or Rylait, I don't know, Dragon. I don't know what I'm talking about, but so be more generic, more reasonable with your advice. Uh, it's not extremely a pet peeve of mine, but it's just like, why would you try to give advice and talk about these limited units, these units where you usually have to pity around 605 bookmarks. Please be more open-minded, don't be that arrogant. This is just, me just talking, I guess, but the same thing with the current team that's running on arena. The reason I'm talking about this because somebody was asking for help trying to defeat Tsurin, and Tsurin is kind of a problem even for me. The best thing you can do is just name a unit that has 2 hits, or a team that could potentially deal with Tsurin team. For example, let's just say for example, this is just a generic team. Let's say a tank. Let's say Charles, uh, Buffer, like Flan, and Tsurin, okay? And then a generic healer like Ruel or something. I don't know. This is a really strong team, I think, already. So let's just say, okay, first you'll probably want to build a AoE defense breaker. So like if you have Tywin or if you have Flan, if you don't have those units, then you probably want to go with the 3-star, like Azalea. I believe she AoE defense breaks with the 85% chance. So that's your best bet to try to cleave the rest of the team. Obviously, obviously your team scales to where you're at. If you're really dealing with Tsurins and Ruels and like silver rank, then it's most likely you're not gonna win because you probably don't have the units for it. Um, but if you're like in high rank, then you'll probably start naming those units because it makes sense, right? You guys are both in high rank, and it makes sense to think that, oh, this guy is already at this level, so he must have some good, decent units already built, which is fair. But for the most part, people asking for advice um, probably don't have the units you're naming. So be more generic with your advice. And again, generic, I don't mean like lazy. I mean like more connected. Like I just said with the Wyvern team. Um, I don't know if I hit the mic, but yeah, just be more connected with your advice. It doesn't make sense you naming all these limited units like Landy, like SSB, like Cerise, trying to be like, oh yeah, just use these units. Oh, you want to counter Tsurin? You know what to do? Counter Champion Zerato. Bro, I don't have Champion Zerato. How am I supposed to, like, give me some more better advice? You know? Yeah. Anyways, hopefully that makes any sense. If that makes any sense, hopefully that makes sense. It's just a little, not a necessarily a pet peeve of mine, but it's just stupid that people ask for advice. Not that they ask for advice, but that people answer people asking for advice with these ridiculous answers. Like, no, be more connected with your answers, man. Like, that works, right? So I don't know. Guess that's just a thought I had. So yeah.